Top 10 most amazing caves in the world. Massive stalactites dangle like blades of ice in the world's most stunning caves. Stalagmites rise significantly from the Earth's surface, and strange species wander the depths. These natural wonders are rivaled only by entire underground cities and shrines of worship which have been handcrafted by humans. If you're a traveler, you probably already have exploring caves on your list. Are you ready to cross it off your bucket list? Grab your hard hat, gather your courage, and accompany us on a trip to the very core of the Earth. Number 10, Mammoth Cave, USA. It's natural if you have certain expectations from a place dubbed Mammoth Cave. The world's longest known cave system, Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, is an astounding 420 miles of subterranean wonder. By the way, that's twice as long as the next longest, though it's not uncommon for the US to go completely nuts on such things. The cave contains some massive theaters and avenues, and excursions have been known to endure more than 6 hours. Mammoth Cave has captivated visitors since the 1800s, and tourists can now explore 10 miles of underground corridors. Frequent musical activities, as well as annual Cave Sing performance, emphasize the cave's exceptional acoustics. How magnificent is that? Number 9, Paco Caves, Laos. No, your eyes are not misleading you. It's the Paco Caves. There's a swarm of Buddha sculptures. The statues were left over the years by believers hoping for better times, but the caverns are now more of a tourist stop on a Mekong River cruise than a pilgrimage destination. Prior to their discovery by outsiders, the completely imperfect contents of Paco's caves were only considered once a year. During the Laotian New Year, believers of the faith would come to bathe in the caves in the expectation of getting boons for the future year. The caves are in an unusual location above the famed river, so boats stop close, and tourists must climb a ladder to enter. It's a lot different than taking a daring leap into the unknown, that's for sure. Number 8, Waitomo Caves, New Zealand. Glowworms everywhere you look. Okay, not quite literally, but the Waitomo Cave system in New Zealand's North Island is famous for the luminous fauna that lights up the walls, earning it the unoriginal but perfectly appropriate nickname, Glowworm Caves. The caves, which were constructed over 30 million years ago, are home to hundreds of glowworms, whose bright light transforms the main cave into a lovely fairy grotto. The creatures known as Arachnocampyluminosa are only found in New Zealand. Adrenaline junkies can explore the cave complex by swimming, crawling through corridors, jumping down waterfalls, and utilizing a rope to scale the cave walls. For those seeking peace, wander underground along the Waitomo River and gaze in solitude at the glowworm grotto's plethora of glowworm lights. As you enter this galaxy of small living lights, you'll notice a calm atmosphere and be charmed by the tiny glowworms that light your path. Number 7, Blue Grotto, Italy. For decades, sailors avoided this location because they believed it was haunted by witches and monsters, but contemporary tourism has proven them wrong. Sunlight enters the cave through a tiny opening, bathing the interior with the magnificent blue light that gives the cave its name. Such beauty will enrapture anyone with its awe without any escape. Swimming is strictly prohibited, and properly so, but visitors to the Blue Grotto usually get more than enough satisfaction from simply looking at it. The cave also has an interesting history. It was originally Emperor Tiberius' private swimming pool, which he embellished with statues of Roman sea gods. That might be why they don't let anyone else swim in it. Superstitious much? The cave is located in the Bay of Naples on the island of Capri. Number 6, Fingal's Cave, Scotland. Fingal's Cave, a beautiful sea cave on the deserted island of Staffa, epitomizes Scotland at her most scuffed. This enigmatic cavern, named after the hero of a song by 18th century author James Macpherson, was found in 1772 and has since become an intrinsic part of folklore, not to mention arts and culture. It's easy to see why, since the dramatic entrance of the cave checks all the boxes for this spooky subterranean world. People have a way of making interesting things even more interesting, no? The continual sound of the wind combined with the ebb and flow of the water creates a magnificent musical score, giving rise to the cave's Celtic nickname, Bin, or Cave of Melody. Many artists and musicians have been influenced by the cave's unique acoustics and mysticism. Number 5, Skocin, Slovenia. Slovenia has many caverns, ranging from the major tourist extravaganza of Postjona to the fragile Krina Jama, but the cavernous theaters of Kochan set it apart. This massive expanse, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, is undoubtedly the most significant limestone cave in the region, with biological significance allied to careful tourism and local appreciation. People have come to Gaup since the early 19th century, and tours are given in a variety of languages. International scientific circles see it as one of the world's most important natural assets. The cavern is of colossal proportions, and it's difficult to believe it's real and not computer-generated imagery from Lord of the Rings. When you get to the cavern with a river running far below, it feels like you've been transported into Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and are about to witness the battle between Gandalf and the Balrog. The chamber is that large. Number 4. Reed Flute Cave, China. The Reed Flute Cave in China is also known as the Palace of the Natural Arts, which should tell you a lot about what to expect. The Reed Flute Cave, named after the reeds that grow outside, which are used to manufacture flutes, obviously, have inscriptions from ages past, proof if proof were needed that people have been devoting attention to this site for a long time. There are numerous caverns in South China's Guangxi, Guizhou, and Yunnan provinces, but the Reed Flute Cave is one of the most beautiful and has drawn visitors for over 1,000 years. The interior of the cave is also illuminated by colorful lights, lending it an alien feel that gives credibility to the nickname. Number 3. Marble Cathedral, Chile. These extraordinary geological structures, formed by over 6,000 years of erosion, are largely unknown as a top-of-the-bucket-list tourist destination, yet they never fail to leave those fortunate wanderers who stumble upon them breathless. What an amazing, wonderful sight! The dark and dingy aspect of underground existence conjures up images in our minds, while the Marble Cathedral in Patagonia shimmers without such constraints. The world's most beautiful cave? Although beauty is subjective, it is tough to ignore the case made by this stunner's cerulean pillars and soaring ceilings. The Marble Cathedral, located on the shores of General Carrera Lake in Chile, is well worth a visit. Number 2. Thrihnukagigur, Iceland. If you're wondering how to pronounce it, it's Thrihnukagigur. Though it's tough to pronounce, this dormant volcano in Iceland is far more difficult to comprehend. Despite being dormant for almost 4,000 years, Thrihnukagigur provides a one-of-a-kind experience for visitors who want to observe a volcano from the inside. The cable car drop into the dried-out magma cavern opened for the first time in 2012. This is the only volcano in the world where you can enter the magma chamber and explore it. If that doesn't pique your interest, perhaps this traveling thing isn't for you. Half volcano, half cave, all spectacular. Number 1. Xuang Dong, Vietnam. Natural caverns don't get much bigger than Xuang Dong, near the border of Laos and Vietnam. This massive chasm possesses the world's greatest cross-section of any known cave, a vast region that is impossible to explain. There are no worlds that would be enough, so it's better to go and see it in person to even fathom how huge this cave can be. A Boeing 747 could supposedly fly through without causing any damage to its wings, but it doesn't do the vastness of Xuang Dong any justice. The stalagmites here are very impressive, with some reaching heights of 70 meters. Sections of the cave's ceilings have collapsed, forming massive skylights known as dolines that allow life to thrive hundreds of feet beneath the forest floor. If you can't make it to Vietnam, take the magnificent 360-degree virtual tour of Xuang Dong. For us travelers, all we really want is to witness the beauty that nobody has ever seen and live long enough to tell tales about them. We carry the memories of such extraordinary beauty in our hearts and reserve them for the right time and place to talk about our uncanny encounters and adventures. What is the place from all of the caves above you would not miss at any cost had you the chance to go visit? Tell us in the comments below. If you're a traveler at heart, give a thumbs up to the video and subscribe to the channel so we can help you expand your bucket list.